Good evening, and welcome to the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting of May 18th, 2015. The time being 7 p.m., I call the meeting to order. And sitting with us here tonight, on my right, is Dougie Elwood, and he's the junior chairman of the Raleigh Board of Selectmen. He's a third grader at the Pine Grove School. And Dougie, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? The flag's right over behind you. Okay?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dougie, thank you very much. Okay, our first order of business is actually, we did the Pledge of Allegiance. Citizens' query tonight is from 7:05 to 7:10. And we have several appointments tonight, and the first one is Dougie Elwood, as winner of the Pine Grove School auction to serve as the junior chairman of the Raleigh Board of Selectmen. And Dougie, I have a proclamation we're gonna do, okay? So I'm gonna ask the board to give me a motion to accept the proclamation after I read it, okay? That's how it works. So it says, proclamation, we, the Board of Selectmen of the town of Raleigh, Massachusetts, by virtue of the authority vested in us by the people of Raleigh as elected officials, do hereby proclaim that Douglas Elwood, having faithfully served as junior chairman of the Raleigh Board of Selectmen on May 18, 2015, the Board of Selectmen wishes to bestow its most sincere gratitude and best wishes. We urge all citizens of the town of Raleigh, its community leaders, businesses, and governmental officials to recognize this achievement and service. In witness whereof, we have hereby set our hands in the seal of the town of Raleigh this 18th day of May, 2015. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. So now we can sign it, and then we can get it stamped by the town clerk, and we'll put it in a frame for you. How's that? Very good. Okay. So move to the vice chairman.
I'll be back.
Okay. You want to pass it over to Deb? You pass it over. Okay, has the board got anything they want to say to Dougie or talk to him about anything? Any questions or comments?
Say congratulations. We debated what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, and looks like we have a fine candidate here. He looks great. He looks like he's interested and future politician for sure. So congratulations, Doug, and we're welcome aboard. And you can come every week if you want. So I'm sure you're getting out of doing a little bit of homework today, baby. So you can enjoy us instead. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you.
Well, finally, we're a good-looking board now.
Yep. You did a great job there, buddy.
Thanks.
So is there anything you want to say?
Not really.
Okay, that's good. So they're out there getting that stamp on that little proclamation for you? Okay. So you, let's see. If we can maybe do one general business, waiting for the 7:15 appointment. Actually, let me announce that the Citizens Query is now open at 7:05, and we'll close at 7:10. And also, just so you understand, this is being audio and video recorded. See the microphone? Right here on the table.
Chief,
They're listening to us. See the silver
I got a
things up there
special
on the
seat
wall?
this time.
Those are cameras. So you're on TV right now.
thanks for coming to the house. You know,
Okay?
Appreciate
Don't
it.
get nervous, it's
See you.
okay.
and-
Yep.
Okay, I got it.
So why don't we do one general business number 2? That's a road opening permit, so it's fairly simple to do, and we can show Dougie how we work on that. Okay. This is the general business number 2, and it's National Grid. And they're looking for permission to open 377 Main Street, map 27, parcel 1, lot 59, for the purpose of a new gas service. Okay, so they want to put in a gas service. And it's all been planned out, and we look on the second page because we have 2 town officials that have to sign this off. One of them being the highway surveyor, and he signs it up here and approves the application. And the other one is the Conservation Commission. And they sign it, and they say there's no area or wetlands involved, so there's no issues with it. So, we asked the board if they have any, and there's a plan that they give us and tell us where the work is going to be done. So it's right there. And this is a view of it, and this is where it's gonna be done. Okay? Right on Main Street. Okay. So has the board got any comments or questions?
I'll give you the motion to approve it, Mr. Chairman.
Give you a second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of granting the Keyspan gas permit for 377 Main Street, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That was kind of simple, huh? So now we have to sign it.
Should I sign it?
No, unfortunately, we can't have you sign it because you're not elected yet. You'll have to wait till you get elected, okay?
Mr. Chairman?
Okay. And Michelle, have you got the camera there? What we'll do is, we'll stand up and we'll present it to him, you can take a picture of it. Okay?
Steve,
Didn't mean to sign you.
thank you for taking the house.
Oh, you're welcome. You feeling better?
Yeah, come along.
I had to say 12, that's all.
Mr. Chairman?
That's like you want you guys.
All right, Dougie, we can stand up now so your mom can take a picture. And we'll present you with this. What do you think? Huh? Isn't that kind of neat?
Turn around, show.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, there we
Yep.
go.
Thank you.
Very good.
Congratulations, Doug.
Yep, congratulations.
Where are we gonna put it?
My dad probably has room for it somewhere.
We'll find a place to hang it.
And Doug, I understand this is kind of an important day for you today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
It's your birthday today.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Wow, isn't that nice? How did you plan it so you could get here for your birthday?
I had some of my relatives come, and then after this, we're gonna go back to my house and have cake in about 2 weeks or something. And I'm gonna have a party.
Oh, very
Very
good.
nice.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And how old are you?
9 today.
9 today? Well, congratulations,
Wow.
that's great.
That is great.
The last year for single digits.
Yeah, they wait for the double digits.
Well, you ready?
Yep.
Happy
Birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dougie. Happy birthday to you.
Blow out the candle.
All right.
How's that?
Hey,
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I think so too. I can't remember the last time we had a birthday at a selectmen's meeting. So, it's kind of special.
Very special.
Yeah.
It's all on television, so you're
And
famous all over Raleigh.
We will get you a copy of the
Thank you,
disc.
thank you.
Yeah.
All the selectmen are gonna want a birthday cake for now.
We'll have to bring one.
So what do you think?
I like it.
You like the Board of Selectmen stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we like to have you here. We're very, very happy to have you here. Yeah, so we don't get to do this very often. It's fun for us too. Okay,
All right.
Thank you very much for coming.
yeah, thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks. Everybody's-
Wanna come up
Thank
this way?
you.
You're welcome.
Want to come up this way? Come on, Doug. There we go.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Oops.
Make it. Oh, sorry. I'll move this one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, wait a minute, Doug.
Yeah, don't
You
forget.
want
Forget that.
Here you go, take that. Let me see if I can get this off of here. Yeah.
You don't really need it anyway. None of us.
Okay, just kind of put that so it doesn't get stuck to everything.
Congratulations.
And you can have that too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug. Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Doug.
Doug?
Congratulations.
This guy's a real politician.
All right, quick.
He's headed right there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night, Doug.
Good night now.
Doug. You're lucky I didn't have competition like that.
That would have been tough.
Okay, just an announcement that the citizens query has closed. And our next appointment is at 7:15. And we're about a minute away.
Tim, could you open that door? Sure. Have the door open for an open meeting. Thank you.
It's not the sulfurous smoke from the birthday cake, was it?
Start off the smoke detectors, right? Good thing we got the chief here.
Okay. Okay, the time being 7:15, we have a public hearing with Tim Young of the Friends of the Raleigh Public Library to discuss request to use town common for the annual chili cook-off. And Debbie has asked that the police, fire, highway, and health departments review this request in advance of tonight's meeting. In addition to the representatives of the Friends of the Raleigh Public Library present tonight are Fire Chief Jan Broderick, Police Lieutenant Steve May, Coordinator of Health Services and Regulatory Compliance, Frank Machinjani, And Highway Surveyor Patrick Snow. I don't see Patrick, but he may be coming. Okay, Tim, I guess
Okay, great.
you can start.
Where would you like me?
Right in front would be good.
Front, standing is fine?
Nope, sitting there is
Sitting
fine. Yep.
Okay.
We'll-
Well, that was a really tough act to follow.
I have to agree with that.
I hope you maintain the good cheer that you exhibited to the young man.
Don't count on it.
I want to thank you for inviting me in to present our proposal to host the 12th Rowley Chili Cook-Off to benefit the Rowley Public Library on the town common in September. I have brought some supplemental information to the letter that I sent in late April, information that was developed in concert with representatives from town departments. But I know our time is limited here, so I thought I would perhaps give you an overview of what we have in mind.
Okay.
And then you have specific questions, we can address them with the chiefs and folks from the town departments.
Okay.
So if that works for you.
Yep.
I didn't make a lot of copies, so maybe I can just pass 3 of these out.
I think we got, I emailed you back and said, don't bother, and
Yeah.
we printed them.
Okay, was it the ones that I sent?
It's
little-
6:44 p.m.
Okay, so you have those already?
So the panel here should have them.
Should have them.
Selectmen.
Okay, great. Well, thanks. That's terrific. So to begin with, the question has come up: why would we want to do a chili cook-off on the town common? And I think, from our perspective, after the winter that we all endured, the feeling is that it would be great to be able to use some outside space before the next big snowfall comes. And after all the work that has been done, beautiful work that has been done to improve the common, we have for some time been thinking that it would be a fitting tribute to the town to host a community event there on the scale of the Chili Cook-Off. As I mentioned, this would be our 12th event. We have hosted it in years past at a number of town locations, including the Rowley VFW Hall, the then Rowley Country Club, and St. Mary's Church. And every time we host one, we realize how much little space we have, and we tend to start to bust out of our confines. So one of the reasons that we thought the common would be a good solution is that we believe we could accommodate more people than we have in the past. I think the church has a capacity of about 300, and we are bumping up against that limit. So with respect to what we propose, we would like to get the town's input on erecting a tent. Well, first of all, the date being late September. I think in our original information we said either the 19th or the 26th. But given the shortness of time to prepare and plan, we're sort of leaning towards the 26th date if that doesn't have a conflict. We expect 300 to 400 guests, plus volunteer workers, judges, and other dignitaries who might attend the event, band folks, and so forth. We have met with the police department, fire department, Board of Health, both by telephone and on Friday in a meeting at the fire station to go over the specifics of the plan and the detail of what we've decided or would like to recommend or seek your input on. I've put in here in italics after each of the sections. So maybe we can go through that since that would be where we need some guidance and perhaps you have some questions for us about. As I say, the date would be a Saturday afternoon, 2 until dusk. We would expect workers to be on site at 10 a.m., cooks to arrive at 12:30 to 1, with the event opening at 2. And obviously we would need, request access to the site on the Friday immediately preceding, and on Sunday to probably disassemble the tent. Most everything else we think we can take down Saturday night. The rain date would be the Sunday immediately following, the 27th. We know that would need to be coordinated with the farmers market. We have in the information I sent you a proposed site plan, and maybe we can walk through the highlights of that. But as you can tell, We're using roughly half of the area would be cordoned off for the use of the event. Everything is labeled here, but as you can see, we have a fairly large tent in mind to erect just between the bandstand and the backstop. We think that should be about 60 by 120 feet, depending on occupancy. We then would have the cooking area for the contestants, and generally we pull about 20 to 25 cooks who compete. Would be off to the side, well off to the side of the tent, over on the Summer Street side, with entrance and exit control points between the cooks area and the tent. And you can see that we are proposing to barricade off, either through snow fencing or metal fencing, the area behind the cook station, to make sure that nobody can get back there and trip over a grill or something of that nature. The bandstand obviously would be in use with live music. We also are proposing to have a segregated beer garden on site with a wine and beer service for the duration of the event, and that would be tucked in between the bandstand and the cook's area along that Independent Street side. We have also on the other side of the site cordoned off a fairly large, not cordoned off, but would like to reserve the area for kids' crafts and games, egg toss, wheelbarrow races, and so forth. Sanitation facilities behind the backstop, where traditionally that seems to work pretty well. We would also have a sanitation station with hand washing, with hot water, closer to the cook's station than and I don't think we have it. Actually, we do have it indicated here, sort of on the end of the row of cook's tables. In terms of power, we have contacted the Rowley Light Department, and they said that they would be amenable to providing panels off one of the poles that drop straight down the pole, and where we can tie in with heavy-duty extension cords. I met this morning with Dave Levesque, who has no questions or issue with the lighting plan or the electrical plan. Ken Ward, also I met this morning, said that he has no particular opinion about occupancy on the common, but he would offer his guidance that whatever approach we used for the 375th be applied to this event, with the exception that we are cordoning off areas for because we have paying customers, paying guests. So I think that's it. I mean, we can get into any more detail or questions that you have. Both the fire and police departments have given us extensive input, which I think we've responded to. There is one question that differs a little bit from the information here than what we originally proposed in our April 21st letter, and that has to do with the circulation of the beer and wine patrons. My initial thought, perhaps in an abundance of caution, was to suggest that that beer garden would hold up to 100 people, and people would come and go, but would not be allowed to take beers out of that penned-in area. But as I got to thinking, all of the cooks then, by that rule, would not be allowed to have a beer or a glass of wine, and they tend to have to stay close to their stations. And I wonder if that wouldn't create a little bit of an imbalance between the cooks and the patrons. And the judges also, usually one or more of the judges likes to have a glass of beer while they test the chili, and they would be stationed in the tent. So I was hoping to get your input and feedback on that point. Clearly, from a control standpoint, we would have tip certified servers at the beer truck and serving wine. We would check IDs at the door. We would have wristbands, and we would train all the workers and volunteers to supervise and make sure that people aren't getting overserved or passing beers on to underage kids or anything of that nature. So, we think we have addressed the major concerns, but obviously this is something that kind of came up late in our deliberations, and you know, we would seek your guidance on how to move forward on that point. So I believe that's, oh, parking, always a question. You know, our thoughts currently is that parking is always going to be a difficulty. At the advice of Chief Broderick and Chief Barker, we would request that Burke Avenue be closed to parking during the event, the duration of the event, just because the access, if we have to get a fire truck down that particular road, it would be very tight, and we think that will alleviate some of that pressure and concern or risk. We also would like to put up barricades or danger cones along the Summer Street side, close into the Roberts Funeral Home, so that people don't park there as well. The tendency would be, to want to park on both sides. And as my understanding is, there's only one-sided parking on that road. We also, again, provided we get approvals, would be to do some outreach in the community to get additional parking at Pine Grove, St. Mary's Congregational Church, and possibly the Center Street School lot and some private lots. For example, Frank Romano's has an employee lot that's not in use on Saturday. That we don't know if that will be available to us, but we think the combination of on-street and distant parking and people coming down from Pine Grove will hopefully alleviate that issue. We have discussed the need, and we fully agree that there needs to be details on site, both for uniformed police and EMTs. And one particular risk that I had not been aware of before our meetings with Chief Broderick is that bees tend to be active at that time of year, and if there's soda and beer in cups on site, the risk of bee stings goes up. So our feeling is that to have EMTs who are trained with EpiPens and can deal with any issue very quickly on site, it was a good idea to have that presence on site. So I didn't want to take up too much more time. I think I've covered the highlights. In terms of the Board of Health, we have some extensive guidelines that are in the information about food monitoring and making sure that everything's up to temperature, making sure that we make it clear in printed material that the Board of Health has not inspected all the cooking facilities of the contestants. This is sort of a common sense issue, but we think, we will do whatever it takes to make sure that the town is indemnified from anybody who didn't prepare the food correctly, which we don't anticipate that being an issue, with hairnets and gloves and all the rest of it being part of that. In terms of host liability, the Friends are getting quotes on private insurance that would indemnify the town from any liability in the amount. We're throwing out quotes for $1 million of coverage, specifically naming the town, the library, the Friends of the Library, and any other town departments that you feel we need to specify as an insured for that event. In terms of host liquor liability, which is a separate issue, the way that we've dealt with that in the past is to work with our beer and wine vendors who already have that kind of coverage in place, and they maintain that coverage, and we will provide evidence of that coverage to the town and in future meetings if we get to that point. So I think that's. Have I missed anything? Top line?
No, hit pretty much all high points.
I mean, there's some details, but.
Does anybody, any questions? Any board members?
I get just one quick one.
Sure.
The tent, is that going to be walled in, or is it just a roof?
It's essentially a roof. I believe there are roll-down sides, so in the event of inclement, if we get a thunderstorm or something, we can roll it down. But we will obviously have 2 clearly marked entrances and exits in case there's any issues with people needing to get out quickly. With barrier tape, big signs, and we'll make sure the guidelines and the tent stakes are properly spread so that we don't create an issue of people clumping at the entrances and exits. So, is that your concern?
Yeah, that's basically my question.
Okay.
The other thing, it sounds like you've really done a lot of work and done your homework, and all the meetings you've had with the various departments is quite impressive, actually.
Yeah.
It is.
You've covered everything in the presentation you just made.
Well, I'm glad that
It's excellent,
we were able to
to be
do it.
perfectly
I
honest
try to
with
make
you.
your jobs easier, and
And for full disclosure, I'd like to let you know that I'm a member of the Friends of the Library, and I've also worked the chili cook-off, and will continue to offer my, to volunteer to serve at the chili cook-off, and was a judge for 1 year and enjoyed that very much.
fantastic. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, you folks are pretty much
Was,
set with what's
Sitting
what's
down
been
in
worked
last
out?
Friday, we were able to iron out any questions, concerns, and the bee issue was something I brought up. I said, you know, that could be a problem.
Yeah, very definitely,
And
particularly this time of
so
year.
we'll have 2 EMT firefighters on detail and kind of keep an eye on things fire-wise, but also the emergency response in the event of a medical emergency.
Yeah.
I also wanted to introduce you to Steve Keefe, who's in the back, who's our event co-chair from First Ipswich Bank. Steve will be helping me in the planning, and you know, we will share responsibility for the event, both in name and in practice.
Tim, is this the time of year that you having the cook-off? Usually, I thought I remembered in the spring. Is that?
We typically have done it the first weekend in November.
Right.
Okay.
And that was to really just to get people in the habit of thinking about it happening at that time. It tends to be a nice period when not too much is going on in town, and it's before Thanksgiving. So the last one we had was was held in the spring at Governor's Academy,
Okay.
and we haven't had one in a year. So we're trying to reactivate. But this, because of the outdoor nature, we thought would be better in September. And I don't know if there's any conflicts that are on the books for the use of the common. The only one I thought of would be the Topsfield Fair, which I gather is actually
I
two
think
weeks later.
It's a little bit later.
Yeah.
Typically right around the 1st of October.
Right, so we might be able to steal some of their thunder.
Seems
Easy
like a
enough to
great
do.
use of the common.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it does. And,
Yeah.
you know, like everybody else has said, and I spoke to the chief, it seems like a very well thought out plan. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, you're basically setting it up where they set up the 350th,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, with.
Well,
the
we
big-
used a lot of the
Yeah,
template.
With the big tent and the whole thing,
Oh,
so I mean, it'll fit right
the
on there.
tent.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be good.
All right.
Put me down as a volunteer.
What about the issue of the alcohol circulation in terms of allowing people to, rather than stay in this segregated area, be able to go back to their tent, join their families?
I don't see that as an issue as long as they don't try to leave the common.
Right.
And we could maybe talk to the people that are on duty there.
Yeah,
for
with 2
you folks.
details, you know,
Just kinda
keeping
keep an
everybody
eye,
from walking
yeah.
away. And it
Yeah.
sounds like a family atmosphere. I don't think you're gonna get that many people are gonna try to walk away with drinks.
No, I don't think so either,
No.
but,
And they're going to have wristbands, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have wristbands, and you know they won't. There'll be a fenced perimeter all around the cook-off area, and with a control point where we're collecting tickets and selling raffles and stuff. So that'll be a point where they can't take they can't take a beer to the porta potty, for example.
Yeah,
They'll
right.
leave it there.
Exactly. Maybe at the point of sale, you can make that clear to them that they can take it to the tent to have it with their meals.
Okay.
That would be,
Yeah,
you know, the
maybe
only
just
other area
even
outside the
some sort of
beer
sign
tent.
might,
Yeah.
explaining the requirements.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think if you do that, that'd be reasonable.
Okay, good.
Probably if you keep it within that fenced-in area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna have people at the gates to the fenced-in area anyway.
Yes.
So you can kind of monitor anybody. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know in the past, when we've been there, that, you know, if people have a drink and they circulate and have some chili and circulate here and there, and they want to obviously be with their family.
Families, right?
So that
Family
it
and
kind of,
friends.
instead of setting up a drinking booth and
Right.
that they all mingle together, I don't think, it's never been you never had a problem with anybody.
Never. We never have.
Right.
I was just being overly cautious, thinking this might be the first, or one of the first times we've had alcohol on the common, so.
No, you've always run a good operation there, and from the plans you brought in here, it sounds like you covered all the bases with
Okay.
safety departments, the health department, and, you know, I think I would put enough trust in you that people want to have a beer, wine within that fenced-in area, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't see a problem with it.
Well, I appreciate that. I wish I'd thought of it earlier, but,
That's all right.
when if the cooks find out they're not gonna be able to have we're not gonna get any cooks. I know these guys, all right. Well, any other questions I can answer, or percedurally, is there anything that you would require of us? I mean,
Well,
we
we're
know
gonna-
there's some permits and
Permitting,
and the liability coverage and so forth. We'll work on that. I'll be out of town the next couple of weeks, but we'll hit it running when we get back.
Why don't you reserve with our town administrator or the secretarial people here, reserve that date?
The
Those
26th.
two dates, I don't know if anything's already planned there.
Yeah.
And then, once you come in with the applications, I don't think there's any opposition, doesn't seem to be any opposition from the board, so that once
do
you
you
get
remember when
the
the-
actual
when the wedding
application
is
in,
gonna
we
be?
can okay it
Okay.
formally.
Next week.
Next week, okay, so it's nowhere near September. Okay. The only thing I know we got is a wedding, but that's next week.
Right. And actually, Debbie had raised the issue of making sure that Roberts isn't planning a wake or a funeral on Sunday or Saturday afternoon.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, Tim, as you were sitting here reading this off, I'm saying the only thing that's gonna screw this up is the funeral.
Well, he may be my first call in the morning.
Really
so-
can't.
So,
There's not much you can do either.
No way
to predict it.
Yeah.
but you do have that second date, so.
Yep.
The second date, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
worst comes to worst.
Yeah, okay, so that would be something we'd need to pay attention to, although my understanding is he doesn't schedule many
No, you can talk to
many
Dave, and I
events.
think he'd be
Yeah.
agreeable.
Yeah.
He does in the past, anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I think they generally tend to be in the morning too, when you're talking about kicking off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah.
so.
That's
Not
right.
too many wakes on a Saturday night.
And as long as you put the porta potties down by the backstop, he'll be happy.
Yes. Yes.
All right, and one of those will be handicapped, by the way,
Good.
so, all right, great.
And Mr. Chairman, just to follow up, what I'm gonna plan to do is submit this plan that you've prepared to our insurance carrier.
All right.
Because I know, they will want at least $1 million, $1 million, $2 million, and if there's any special liquor liability from the caterer or whatever. So I'll just work with you directly on
That
what
sounds
those
great.
requirements will
Sure.
be. And then, when we're ready to have the selectmen issue the one-day liquor license, that's always reviewed by the police chief, so we'll kind of take the plan that you have here and transpose that to that application. And then there may be some special conditions that will be outlined on the wristbands and things like that.
Yep.
Under that approval.
Oh, okay,
And,
on the
so-
wristbands themselves?
On the liquor, the one-day liquor license
Oh,
may
okay,
have a set of conditions that you'll have to follow.
Right.
And that will also conform probably to the liquor liability insurance requirements.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Well,
Okay.
terrific, well, we
Very good.
look forward to having a great event, I hope you all will come, and we may be hitting up some of you for judging opportunities, if you'd like. It's a good opportunity to get in front of your constituents.
Okay, Tim, thank you very much.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your attention, and I'd like to offer my thanks to the town departments for working with us so closely on getting this together in short order. Really pulled it together kind of
Sounds like
fast.
an exciting event for the town.
Yeah,
Yep.
looking forward to it. All right, great, thanks.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yes, we can.
Well, get out quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Gentlemen.
Thanks.
Good night.
Night.
Right, Chief.
Night.
Night. The time being 7:39, we have a 7:30 appointment with Tim Southall to discuss turf maintenance, contract, Parks and Rec, and Independence Day celebration event on the town common. Tim?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Tim.
Pardon the appearance, I just came off a very enthusiastic 6- and 7-year-old baseball game down at Ellis Park tonight, so great night for a ball game. So just wanted to go over the Park and Rec, the turf maintenance, which is the fertilization of the fields in town, which consists of upper and lower Ellis Park, Pine Grove School fields, and veterans fields. Those are been the contract had ended last year, and so we put it back out for bid. Sent out the quote to 10 area businesses, which I had put in your pamphlet there. Hopefully you have that. Had a pre-quote meeting to go over the contract, the quote, and Sahavich was the low bidder that came back to us. He's had the contract the past 3 years. It's a 1-year contract that's renewable up to 3 years if the Park and Rec is satisfied with the services, which we have been with Sahavich. He's done a very good job. I know Selectman Marion, Selectman Peterson, and I both walked over the ball fields over at Veterans Park last fall, and we both commented how nice the field looked at that time, and they've done a very good job. And nice to be able to keep the business in town as well. So they were the lowest bid, so the Park and Rec had voted to recommend them to the Board of Selectmen to renew that, extend them the contract for this year. And,
How much of an increase, Tim, is that over?
went up about 20% from what it was almost 4 years ago now. So yeah,
You got enough money in your budget?
we do. Yeah, we have enough money in that, and that's one of the things that we did talk about at our meeting, and we felt that realistically, kind of what they had been doing it for the last 3 years, they were kind of more or less breaking even. They were kind of doing the town a little bit of a favor, to be honest with you. So they're not making a whole host of money on it, but we felt that we did have the money there, and for the job that they did, we thought it was worth awarding
That's
them
fine.
what they
Yeah,
were
no, I
the bid.
expected to go up anyway. so
Sure.
I just-
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure that
Sure.
it's within the budget.
Yep.
Okay, any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a question. How come one of the fields you're gonna use natural organic fertilizer?
We have to because it's near the well.
The well?
Yeah, so the lower field, we have to use all organic fertilizer.
So that would be suitable for the other playing areas, or?
The other playing, it's a lot more money for the organic, so that's why it's only deemed for that one area. The rest of it, we can use just standard
Mhm.
fertilizers.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to award the turf contract to Sahavich Landscaping. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Certainly. The second part was the 4th of July celebration on the Common.
Yep.
Which is fast approaching, hard to believe. 8 weeks ago, we had 2 feet of snow on the ground, but we're thinking about the 4th of July. We're looking, I believe, at Saturday, June 27th would be the day, as I think the 4th actually falls on a Saturday this year. And we tend to try to do it like the weekend before, because a lot of people go away for the 4th of July. So I just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling on that. I know a lot of times, I work with rest of the selectmen to try to kind of set things up, but I just want to try to get the word out to the school prior to them getting out, and maybe getting some signage put up around town just to get the word out. Normally we always have our parade start about 8:30 in the morning. We meet at the bike parade where kids decorate different floats of bikes and things of that nature. At the VFW, they meet at the VFW and go up to the town common. And, normally we get a police escort to go up there. That's always a big hit. And then we proceed to have our events on the common and slushes and hot dogs and things of that nature. So it's obviously been well received for a number of years, and I just wanted to kind of get that ball rolling, and if we can kind of get that date locked up with the town would be great, and then we can move forward with that planning.
Okay.
good.
Any questions or comments?
We can do like we usually do with Richie's slush and get some hot dogs and set the tables up and get some volunteers from the selectmen.
Yep.
All volunteers,
We'll get some park and rec
The slush
volunteers
and-
out there.
other items.
Thank you, Tim, for all you do for the Parks and Recs in general, and in particular. You put a lot of work and effort into this every year.
Well, I appreciate that
Without you
very
running
much.
it, I'm not sure how successful it would be, because you're like one of the kids out there in terms of running.
It's a lot of
races
fun.
and
You know what, I enjoy
making
it.
doing those things.
It's nice, you know, it's where I was brought up. I had wonderful parents, and this is actually the 52nd year that there'll be a Southall coaching in the town of Raleigh.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Going back to my
awesome.
dad and myself, so it's you know, it's something that we've always enjoyed doing, and I enjoy it a lot, and the kids enjoy it. Kids have a great time. Everyone goes away with something, some sort of ribbon, and a lot of smiles. So we're about creating memories, and that's what it's about. So
We got a nice touch running those games.
it's a good time. I like emceeing those things, and you know, it's a nice time. So I enjoy it. We've had good weather, so knock on wood. Hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully it can keep the stretch going. You know, so
Okay,
all set.
very
Do we
good.
need a motion, Mr. Chairman, or we just?
Yeah, I think we need a motion for the date.
For the day,
I'll
okay.
make a motion that we do that on the 27th as requested.
And can we get that up on the website also, and maybe get it on the on
RCM.
RCM also?
Excellent.
And then we get
Contact
We'll get it out to baseball and through the
newspaper
school.
lady
Yeah.
there, Michelle.
Michelle, and maybe we get the flyers with the school,
Mhm.
Yep.
get the word out.
Beautiful. That'd be great.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor to,
Aye.
June 27th is the day.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Tim.
it as always.
Yep. Okay, that takes care of the appointments.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Good to see you again.
Actually, yeah, no, I won't do
You
it.
miss the New England weather, right?
Okay, we go to general business number 1, which is letter from David Schwartz, DVM Smart. Read legislation on ensuring the safety of people with pets in disasters. I think everybody's got it in their package. You really want me to read the whole thing?
No.
Okay. I appreciate that very much.
I'll make a motion of the effect that we
Actually, I did read it before, and it's basically just they're trying to get some legislation to help people that have pets, particularly during disasters. And I think part of this is being driven by what we're seeing out in the Midwest with the tornadoes and all of that kind of stuff going on out there. So it isn't in effect yet, but they're working on trying to get the legislation passed. So.
Probably, it mentions the emergency manager, probably make sure that the fire chief, as our emergency representative, is aware
Mhm.
and set up something that would coordinate with, so we have a plan in place.
Yeah, it's more or less of an educational thing. It
Yeah.
says to educate pet owners and town leaders about how to include animals in emergency management plans. So I think that's probably what we'll be working on once the legislation passed, is to working something into our emergency plan, just to cover that one
I want to
topic.
clear, it has passed or it hasn't passed?
I don't think it's passed yet. I think
Okay.
they're still working on it. Yeah. So, and I'm sure we'd have to read the final bill
Legislation.
when it gets passed as to what actually comes out of it. So, so that is on the list
Mr.
of
Chairman,
things.
may I make a suggestion?
Yep.
I do think that this has been signed into law. We could have our emergency management director review this and confirm that he's including this in his plan.
Okay, yep, that'd be good. You want
Maybe
us
get
to,
together with the animal control officer.
That would be a good idea.
yep, you want us to vote that, Deb?
If the board would like to take an official action to direct that to REMA, that would be appropriate.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Very good. Okay, that takes us down to old business. Number 1. And that's discuss 390 Weathersfield Street Camp Area lease and YMCA open house. The lease with the YMCA is ready to be signed. the Board of Selectmen needs to vote to sign the lease. There are 2 originals that need to be signed. Also, the YMCA is planning to hold an open house on June 20th. So, the lease has been reviewed by Town Council. It has been reviewed and actually, I believe, signed by the YMCA. So,
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
okay.
I'd like to make a disclosure that I'm a member of the YMCA.
I'll second that motion.
Okay,
Can I ask some questions?
sure.
I'm new to this, but how is the lease going to affect public access to the property in its entirety? I mean, I assume it would preclude access to the 20 acres that they're actually gonna occupy, right? But what about the rest of the
I believe there's land set aside. If you look at the plan, once we broke off the Girl Scout camp area where the buildings are,
Mhm.
the frontage on Weathersfield Street at that point is conservation land. Okay, the parking lot is Girl Scout, but the frontage beyond that towards the Taylor Lane,
Right, okay.
and then the Smith Lane comes up through there.
Mhm.
There's a little, it's not really a two-way road, but there is a driveway up there that goes to what they call the Vicor building.
Right.
And I think that's where the parking would be and where people coming in from Weathersfield Street would go that way to get to the conservation land.
Okay, is there gonna be signage at any point? I mean, so
I'm sure there will be.
people,
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, actually, the conservation agent today had asked me to set up a meeting with Jerry Beauchamp, the director of the Ipswich YMCA, which we're working with, even though this is part of the North Shore YMCA organization that we're leasing with, to actually work out some of the logistics of parking. Brent has been very busy on Huntsley Hill, working on that areas up there, and he said he just hadn't had a chance to kind of get in
Yep.
to the area off Weathersfield Street of the Girl Scout land to start working on coordinating off, setting up, similar to the other areas that are under the control of the Concom, parking areas, signage, and things like that. So he, Jerry Beauchamp, you, since you're one of the selectmen, are working on the project, we'll get together and with them and work on signage and, delineation of areas that will be under the lease and under the conservation.
Yeah,
He's been getting quite a number of calls already from
Well,
people
that's,
that are excited about getting out and starting to hike the trails.
that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. And I know even the Girl Scout camp, they're going to try to use some of that land also for
Sure,
nature stuff.
right.
Bird watching and vernal pools, things like
Sure.
that. So it should working together very well. So,
But the existing parking lot, will that be used exclusively by the Y, or?
I would think so,
Yeah.
because it's fairly close to where they
Right.
are. So I don't know just how the whole parking thing will play out, because there isn't a huge amount of parking there.
No.
But I think we'll be okay, hopefully. And I'm sure that if Brent gets together with them, they can figure that out.
Sure.
So,
Okay, thanks.
okay. So is there any
Mr.
other?
Chairman, this lease is based on the terms and conditions that were in the request for proposals.
Okay.
So, there's some minor modifications of language that I added that I thought was in the best interest of the town. So now it's ready to be signed and voted on.
Okay. Is there any other comments or questions? Everybody had a chance to take a quick look at it?
Looked it over.
Okay.
No, just that I'm a member of the Y,
Yep.
but, we disclosed that. And
Yep.
I sent a form into the town clerk.
Okay. Yeah, you did make your declaration.
Mr. Chairman, I also need to make a declaration. As you know, I have a disclosure form on file with the Board of Selectmen that I have a membership in the YMCA of the North Shore as well.
Okay. So we'll entertain a motion.
I believe you have a motion.
Gave you the motion.
Okay. Has it been seconded?
Yep.
Very good. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Sorry.
You can sign one else on the other. I don't think that's gonna work, Joe.
Nope.
There you go. you. Old business number 2, signed contract with Glenn Battiselli, LLC for Town Wharf repair project. During last week's Board of Selectmen meeting, the board voted to award the Town Wharf repair project contract to Glenn Battiselli, LLC. The contract has been signed by the vendor, and now the Board of Selectmen needs to vote to sign it. There are 2 originals. Once the Board of Selectmen signs it, Debbie can issue a notice to proceed to the contractor. Any questions or comments?
Give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
My name's not on there. So this,
Is this on these, wharf?
Yes.
Because it was written prior to the election, so, if you voted, if you could just write your name on it.
okay, you're right.
Anywhere on the selectmen side, I think you can.
Squeezed in tonight.
Thank you. Okay. That brings us to new business. And number 1 is discuss water issues in cemetery. The Selectman's office has been receiving questions as to why the water has not been turned on in the Rowley Cemetery. The Town Hall outside water spigot is being used by the public as a water source for the cemetery. There is no water service in the cemetery because the galvanized water piping is corroded and the water department can't connect to the degraded pipe. Memo and picture is attached. Okay.
It's pretty corroded.
There is a letter here from the water department. It says, on May 11, 2015, the water department went to look at the repair for the cemetery. Attached is a photo of what we unearthed. We were under the impression that the service lines in the cemetery were PVC lines. This is not the case. The line which was identified as the leak is a galvanized iron pipe. The pipe is in need of complete replacement and cannot be repaired due to the degradation of the metal and its condition. We are unable to install the meter and turn the service on. So, I think at this point, we're probably gonna have a riot before the end of the month, because
Yeah,
everybody's
I've
out
already
there.
had a couple of calls myself.
Yeah,
People-
because everybody's out there planting the flowers on their very lots, and there's no water.
What is the extent of the pipe that needs to be replaced? Did she give us any indication?
I don't know other than that picture, and I know that apparently there may be a joint meeting tomorrow evening between the cemetery board and the water board to discuss this.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that, but I think what we need to do, Dave, is probably try to find out if they can isolate that particular pipe,
Yeah.
and then set up a couple of places around in the cemetery that can have water. And then just, you may have to walk a little bit to get to it, but at least,
Is there any way we could run the water department could run a temporary line from our spigot at least over to
well,
somewhere in the cemetery, inside the cemetery in this general area? Put up a couple of signs so people coming into the cemetery realize that, we haven't forgot about it, it's
Right.
just, there's a problem.
the issue with that is we're gonna have to pay for the water, and I don't know if we got the budget for it.
I think paying for the water is a minor issue compared to,
Well, if we get the cemetery to pay for it, it'd be great.
yeah, whatever we can do. I mean, the money will be an issue to do the whole thing, but I think as an emergency.
But
I
it
mean,
might
we
be
need to-
possible, the meter is out front on the main avenue, just as you come in
Yeah.
through the gate. And if we could get a piece of PVC from there to the other side of that, wherever that is.
Even a hydrant, but because I don't know if there's any hydrants on that, probably not, it's probably on the common side.
It is on the common side, yeah.
But I mean, I think we definitely need to get some water access.
Even if they could get a garden hose or something to something.
Yeah,
that
just
they can
something
use,
to at least,
if they get a couple
and
of
put a couple of
faucets.
signs over there so the
Yes.
people coming into the cemetery will know that the water is,
There is water available.
There's
we
water
just have to-
available and-
It's just not in all the spigots.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is just for flowers, we're not watering grass or anything?
No,
like that?
no, it's typically, but,
just for the patrons to.
coming this week, there'll be a lot of people out there planting flowers.
Absolutely.
And they'll definitely be looking for water, because we're not,
Sure, yeah,
we won't have any rain until tomorrow, and that's only gonna be a little bit.
right.
So,
I would probably put a good-sized sign out on both entrances
Mm.
and let people know where the spigot is.
Yes.
Because otherwise, again, we will have a
even
riot.
if they flag them. I
Yeah.
mean, if they can say that, got water at the red flags, if they put
Mhm.
surveyor's tape on them or something like that, at least they'll be able to find them when they need them.
Right.
So, but yeah, they've been coming over here and taking the water here, which is fine, I mean, but I don't know if we wanna be supplying the whole cemetery with water.
Well, I think an emergency like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we got any choice at this point.
No.
Well,
We
you
have to
know-
eat it, we eat it, but
Yeah.
it's gotta be done.
It's probably
I
not.
don't know,
easy
is
tomorrow.
it possible to contact the cemetery first thing in the morning and the water department, see if they can coordinate between the,
Well, I think the purpose of their discussion tomorrow night is to work this out. We got the sense that there was no way to connect anything based on this pipe.
no, but to run a temporary line.
And I'm not sure how the mechanics of that is gonna work, so that's
We
why.
can't. I don't think we can wait till tomorrow night to make a decision. It'd be nice if we get at least a temporary line, even if it's only a garden hose, and at least make arrangements to have a couple of signs made
Yeah.
tomorrow, so that by Wednesday,
People will have it.
there'd be something up over there I mean, it's,
Well, the cemetery you have to have a board meeting and discuss these things. I'm not sure, I presume they have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. We did try to reach Peter today. We got a gentleman that came in and called. He came in concerned about it, and Doreen had another person that she was dealing with today. And we've been trying to reach them. I presume that the purpose of this joint meeting is to work out the details on it.
Okay. Larry, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that the AgCom had a similar problem at the community garden hooking up the water line, and Penachuk had to come out and connect to the hydrant. So they are either gonna have to be creative and maybe running a garden hose or something else. But, it took a couple of weeks for them to get water out there, and obviously it's a much different situation, but they might have to be a little more creative.
Okay. I guess we're gonna have to find out what the water department
Because
wants to
I know
do.
the superintendent will need some direction from her board on
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
before she can do any work in the cemetery.
right. So, I mean, I think we just need to let the cemetery commission know that they need to discuss this with the water board and do whatever they can to get it done.
What if we relay the suggestions of the selectmen to the superintendent, and if we can reach Peter Dalzell, let him know that this is a suggestion from the selectmen, if he can work on that with the water board?
Yeah.
I think that's about all we can do.
Because as far as our spigot at the back of the building here, we could do something temporarily.
I'm not sure you'll have any water at the end of the hose by the time you get to the back of the cemetery. That was my only concern.
Well, I'm just thinking of, speaking over here,
Yeah.
close
No,
enough.
it'd just be there'd be one spigot, or, the hose would go over with a shut off at the end of it.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna have to walk over to it or drive over to it, fill their buckets and then
I
go back to
guess-
their gravesite. I mean, that's the best we can do with this little bit of time and with the administrative issues with the boards and stuff. It's,
People get a watering can and then bring it
Yeah,
up to the
yeah.
gravesite, and, but there'd be a place.
at
that's
least
the
there's
least we
some
could do
water
is-
available.
With all the, the bad press that we've had just recently with the cemetery, that's.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing further on that topic? The next topic is reorganize the board. Chairman, vice chairman, and clerk. Okay, the first one is nominations will be accepted for the position of chairman, which has been held by G. Robert Murray over the past year.
I'd like to make a motion that we continue with Chairman Murray's done a good job this past year, and to continue with Bob as our chairman.
I'll second that.
Oh, no.
Let's vote before he has time to say no, really.
Well,
No further discussion.
I mean, I do come up for reelection, I think, is it next year, Dave, you and I come up?
Yeah, I think we're up next year.
So, I guess I could work my way through for another year. So, I will accept the nomination.
Yeah, just a quick comment, you've done a good job this year dealing with a number of serious and difficult issues. And I think at this point, to continue more or less the way we've been with a continuation of the issues that are involved.
Yeah.
Everything from the cemetery to the water to the Girl Scout camp, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And, I think we've all chipped in, and I apologize that I was out for an extended period there due to illness, but we've all worked hard to support you and work with you and give you a chance to delegate out, so.
Right, no,
Along with the administrative staff here in the office, I think we've had a good year.
I know, and I appreciate all of the help that you folks have chipped in with and helped with. I mean, I really think we have a great board here. Everybody works together. We can always agree to disagree, and it's perfect that way as far as I'm concerned. And I still want to work with Debbie and Amy. Unfortunately, I won't be able to work with Doreen, although she has done some great work
has.
for us,
Right.
working on some of these projects that we had. The floor project is the one that jumps out at me right now that Doreen worked on and really did a great job with. And we appreciate it very much, Doreen, and wish you the very best in your next endeavor.
We'll miss you all.
And I know Debbie's got a couple of more projects she wants to try to get together and get taken care of, and I enjoy working on those too, so. Okay, I guess I got a call for a vote, huh? You're not gonna change your mind?
You're stuck.
I'm stuck. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I recuse myself.
You can vote no.
Okay, it looks like I'm chairman, so the next nomination will be acceptance for the position of vice chair,
I'll
which
make
has
a
been
motion,
held
Mr. Chairman.
by Joseph Perry over the past year.
Joe Perry be appointed.
Okay, and I will be more than happy to second that one. Joe, you've done a great job for the year. And
Thank you.
I appreciate working with you. I really do.
I will accept the nomination.
Okay.
I'd like to say Joe has done, I think, an outstanding job as
Yep.
vice chair this past year.
Oh, absolutely. I
He
mean,
has,
with the school stuff.
with the
it's-
school and with the budget, I
Yep.
mean, a lot of people don't understand what the vice chair does, but Joe does a lot of stuff behind the scenes and really helps out. You as chairman, I know he has, and,
Yep.
Joe.
Thank you.
You've done an outstanding job. Congratulations. Good year.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I recuse myself.
I didn't ask for the opposed. Okay, well, that's great. Nominations will be accepted for the position of clerk, which has been held by Robert Snow over the past year.
I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Snow as clerk.
I'd like to second that one.
A lot of heavy lifting there, so.
I'll accept because I don't want to move my seat.
Okay. And Bob, you do a great job too. I understand a clerk really isn't all of that heavy work, but at times we need to take care of those bond issues and things like that.
That's right,
And the
that's
clerk
right.
needs to be signed, needs to sign off on those things. And we certainly appreciate your expertise that you bring to the table.
Well, it's, I've sat in every chair, on this table. And, matter of fact, this is the beginning of my 8th year.
That's very
on the
good.
board. And I'm very proud to serve with, all you gentlemen.
You've made a valuable contribution.
Oh, absolutely, yep. And Cliff, thank you for being here. Yeah, we
Welcome.
appreciate
Thank you for having me.
it. Well, we didn't really have much choice, but the
Welcome
townspeople
aboard.
have spoke, and we trust the
No,
townspeople.
I'm looking forward to it. I think this is an excellent board of selectmen, and probably one of the best we've ever had, I think.
It's one of the best we've had for a while.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. This is my second term and my 3rd term. But the first term was back in 89 and 90.
Right, I remember that.
98 and 99, 2000. And from what I've seen through the years, this one works very well. It's a little bit different looking at it from the outside than being on the inside.
Sure.
But it's worked very well. I feel very proud to be able to sit here and work with you folks. Really do. So.
We've got a lot of experience. All of us have put a lot of time in here over the years.
Yep.
And Cliff comes with a lot of
Oh, yeah.
experience, not with the selectmen,
and
but
in a
he's got the
different-
planning and all those
Yeah,
issues
yeah.
that he's dealt with for as many years as we've been on this board.
Right, with a different outlook which we can use. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
that'll be very
Sure.
valuable to us.
Yep.
And with our administrative
so.
staff.
There will be.
Yeah, no question about
But
it.
Maureen's gonna be gone, but we still have Amy and obviously Debbie Egan, so I think we're in a position to have a good year.
Yep.
Do more good things.
I move the vote.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain. I'm not moving my chair.
Okay. All right, that takes care of the general business. We now have some announcements, and we'll get through those quick. Mandatory water ban is put into effect due to a drop in the Parker River Basin. No non-essential outdoor water use is allowed during the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's a mandatory water ban in effect as of now, from the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Library news is horses on display at Raleigh Public Library. Photos and models of horses by Sadie Woodward is on display. Collections and equestrians are invited. Collectors and equestrians are invited to display their collectibles on a monthly basis at the Raleigh Public Library. For more information, please call Amy Roderick at 948-2850. The town has the following vacancies: fence viewer 3 positions. Board of Cemetery Commissioners 1 seat open through May 12th. Wood, Lumber and Bark Inspector and Zoning Board of Appeals Associates 2 open seats. Historical Commission, Historic District Commission 2 seats. Parks and Recreation Committee 2 seats. Open Space Committee is seeking members. For more information on these positions, please contact the Selectman's Office at 948-2372. Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. The food pantry is open Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. So our next order of business is executive session. And the chairman calls for a motion to go in.
Jim,
Yep.
would you please make an announcement about the Memorial Day Parade? I realize the time has just flown.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's the 25th, right? Memorial Day
Yes,
Parade, yes.
that, if I could just read this. The Board of Selectmen and VFW invite and encourage all veterans and families to participate in and attend the ceremony and parade on Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th at 1:30 p.m. And anyone who would like to be in the parade needs to meet at 1 p.m. in the VFW parking lot on Bradford Street. So
Okay.
if there's any questions on the parade or the ceremony, people can call us here at 948-2372 or 948-2705.
Okay, very good. Okay, executive session. Chairman calls for motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategies with respect to litigation, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the town, and to not return to open session.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion to call the executive session. All those in favor by roll call vote?
Aye, Cliff Pierce.
Aye, Robert Snow.
Hi, Robert Mary.
Hi, Joe Perry.
Hi, Dave Peterson.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are in executive session.